Minutes.
Thank you so much. Hi, Carter. It's great to talk
Hey,
to you.
Janelle.
How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, thank you. This movie was absolutely amazing. And how did you get involved and why did you decide to take on The Passenger as the director?
I mean, the whole thing started from the script. Like, Jack Stanley's script was like masterfully created, I felt like. And when I read it, there's these moments when you read scripts where you just kind of fall in love with the characters. And even when you sort of know that you shouldn't be falling in love with them, like was the case with this one, like with Benson, I just, halfway through, I found myself like rooting for him. And I just felt like that was so interesting and such an unexpected development in the story. And I kind of loved the idea of exploring this like weird little relationship that develops on this, one day when they're, driving around this tiny town. So that was what, originally drew me to the script. And then, the fact that I was able to bring it to Blumhouse and it worked within their production model for this slate of films. It was, it's not the most obvious choice for them. It doesn't fit into the box quite as neatly as a lot of the Blumhouse projects do, but credit to them, they were on board and super excited about, sort of pushing the boundaries a little bit of what they're normally doing with these streaming movies.
Kyle's an amazing actor, and this whole cast is amazing. Did you have to do anything to kind of get everybody prepared?
I mean, they're super talented actors, and so I think that the what I wanted to do more than anything was like to give them the freedom to play around and to not feel like there was any right way to do something. Like there was a lot that was on the page, and there was a lot that I felt like wasn't on the page, that wasn't explored. Like, what is the trauma that Benson has gone through? And so, a lot of that stuff was just, spending a lot of time talking with them and sort of, just creating an atmosphere where, there wasn't any right or wrong answer. There was just a conversation about whatever it is that had to do with the characters.
Shots and the location and kind of the lighting and it's very sort of get kind of creeped out watching it, but in such a good way. What is
Yeah.
your process as a director to kind of go in and get everything ready and get everything set up?
Well, I mean, a big part of it is like choosing the locations and choosing that car and choosing the wardrobe and like I had like a whole other prior career as a fashion photographer before I ever started making films. And I think that one of the things that I learned to do as a photographer, I was always trying to tell stories in one frame, just like, one frame only. And when you're doing that, you really have to pay such close attention to every single thing that's in front of the camera, from, what books are on the bookshelf to what if are the shoes tied or are they untied? Like what's the hair like all of that stuff was stuff that I had spent a lot of time thinking about as a photographer. And so moving to film, like it just kind of came as second nature to me to pay as that close of attention to everything that's in the frame. And which all of course contributes to like the feeling of unease and dirtiness and, hopefully dread and tension that you pick up on as an audience watching the film.
Yeah, there's a kind of deep grittiness, but it's in such like a fascinating way, and you're watching all the details, and that's what I like. I love your films for that. Even Swallowed, not to ramble on, but to go back to Swallowed, like so many perfect details and just it's beautiful film.
Oh, thank you. Well, I think that also like with The Passenger too, I mean, and with Swallowed, like it's, what you're seeing is kind of familiar. Like you feel like, okay, I've been to this place before, or I've driven through this place before. And so it's not like you're looking at some, something that's completely out of your realm of reality. Like there's a familiarity to it, which is, I think makes it a little bit more frightening, because the possibility that this stuff could happen in the world that you live in is is terrifying.
What would you like to say to everyone that's going to be watching The Passenger? What do you kind of want people to know from your perspective about the film?
I mean, I want people to come in, ready to go on a ride that like takes them places that they aren't expecting to go. I mean, I think that the one of the most fun things to do as a director is to subvert expectation and to sort of surprise people with the twists and turns that happen in the story. Um, and really to, be open to seeing, the humanity in characters like Benson, who, in a lot of movies and a lot of stories would be, a one-dimensional, bad guy or antagonist, and I think in this particular story, what I love about him so much is that he's more than that. He's just because he's done something bad doesn't mean that he has nothing to offer Randy. And I love that Randy comes out the other end of their horrific experience a better like new and improved Randy in a way that kind of, surprised me and sort of, made me appreciate Benson in a way that and I maybe wasn't expecting.
What are you working on next, if I may ask?
I don't know yet. I'm waiting for strikes to resolve, of course. And I'm actually reading a ton of books. I'm like, instead of like output, I'm sort of focusing on input. I'm trying to catch up on a lot of my reading and watching stuff that has easy to fall by the wayside.
Was there kind of a specific inspiration for you for The Passenger?
I mean, the script is always the inspiration. Like, it's a good script comes across your, I was going to say desk, but like it didn't really came across my computer screen. But like, you get a good script and like that's the inspiration. Like it wasn't like, oh, I want to go and make a road trip coming of age hostage thriller. Like, no, but when I read the script, I was like, oh, I want to make this, So it all starts with that.
Well, it was amazing, and I thank you so much for taking the time to talk to me, and I can't wait for more of your work as always. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Take care, Carter. Thank you.
Thank